So sorry, the bell rang and I had to stop recording, and now I am recording again. And so we left off right here with talking about this function. So this kind of has, there's two questions that I'm going to talk about have a double whammy. This one has a double whammy. The numerator can't be I. So we had to talk about it being greater than or equal to 4. So 5 would work in the numerator, but 5 won't work in the denominator, again, because it makes undefined. Okay, so either one of these answers is fine. Either way you want to put it. Okay, we only have 2 more examples, so sorry that the video got cut off. So back to this one. This one looks a lot like a question we did a little earlier, but easier. No denominator, don't have to worry about that. All we have to worry about is a radical. Again, you can take the square root of 0, it's 0. You can take this, but you can't take the square root of -1, that's I. That is not in your domain. Okay? When you graph something, we don't have I on the x-axis, so that's why. So y's can kind of be, you can kind of abbreviate where they're at, but you can't have x's. So you're going to take what's inside, and you know it has to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, then you just solve that. That's a really easy. It can be 0 again. It's a really easy question to solve. Add 3, add 3. So as long as x is greater than or equal to 3, it works. So again, if you plug in 3, that's 0. Square root of 0 is 0. If you plug in 2, you'd get this. Not possible. Plug in 4, 5, 6, everything else would work. So you could write this answer, or you can write this answer. Either of them are acceptable. Okay, so we're going back, like 9 and 10 is just going back and reviewing the 2 things you need to worry about. And then 11 is going to be another double whammy question. So number 10, no square roots. Do have to worry about the denominator. Cannot equal 3. It is not in our domain set. So the domain, you could just put D or you can just put the answer, would be all reals except x cannot equal 3. Or you can write negative infinity to 3. Whoops. Union 3 to infinity. So basically everything except 3. Okay? Okay, last example. So that was just some review stuff. Last example. And then I'm going to show you some things on worksheet 2 before I stop. This is a double whammy problem. The top, it's fine. I can plug any number I want and add 2, so I don't have to worry about the top. But why is this a double whammy? Well, it cannot equal 0, and it has to be greater than or equal 0. Well, that doesn't make sense. So instead of using this symbol, we're just going to use a greater than symbol. So most of the time, square root has to be greater than or equal to 0, but because the denominator has a radical, 0 would not work. Square root of 0 is 0, can't have in the denominator. So just going to solve this. Negative 3x is greater than negative 4. Divide by negative 3. Many of you on the last test forgot to flip. Divide by negative, you flip. And so you could put this answer, or this answer. Okay? So there are some questions where you got to think about both situations. Okay, let me grab a copy of 9-2. And then let's talk. Okay, so you should have time to write that down now. So on 9-2, you're just talking about domain and range. Okay? Again, if you don't see a radical, you don't see a denominator, all reals. Okay? As soon as you see a denominator, then you just have to worry about when it's equal to 0. But let's talk about number 5. So number 5 is a odd root. So if you go back and remember what I said in the notes, you really only have to worry about even roots. Okay? You don't have to worry about odd roots, because you can take a square root of an odd root. Okay? And so I'm trying to figure out where I wrote that at for you guys. So going back to this example 2, even roots can't have negatives, but this is an odd root. Okay, so this one, any number will work. Odd roots, or you can write negative infinity. Let's do positive infinity. Okay, even root, you're gonna have to think about it. This is kind of a hard question. This is like the last question we just talked about. Number 9 is just like the last one. Very similar. Number 11 is like one of them I kind of messed up on, where the negative 3 and positive 3 came up. So that one is very similar to number 7 on the notes. And everything else should be pretty good. Okay. No back step. So pretty nice, easy assignment to do. Once we get, domain range is going to be important as we go through and do functions and talking about limiting the domain. Kind of like we limited the domain on 8.4 from last chapter, where we could only use open circles. Okay, so rest of the period you have to work on 9.2. Tomorrow, on Wednesday, I will go over 9.1, 9.2, and we will do 9.3 and 9.4. Have a great day. Bye.